A word which captures the mystical experience well, I think, is awakening, because, you know, most of the time we're so unconscious, we don't even notice that life's a mystery. We think we know what's going on, and we don't. Which is extraordinary, isn't it, really? We go around as if we know what everything is, we know who we are, we know what matters, and da-da-da, and then we find that we don't. So that it feels like we're like this, do-do-do-do-do, and then there comes a moment where something happens, and we go, ooh. And suddenly we're face to face with this breathtaking mystery of existence, which we just didn't see. And it's like waking up from a dream, or like how did I miss that? So people have called it awakening. I think of it as awakening because the phrase I use is deep awake. It's like, here I'm awake, and then I'm deep awake. So when that happens, you see who you are and you see what life is in a completely different way. It just suddenly opens up into, you feel alive. It's like remembering something you've always known, and yet it's like the biggest surprise you've ever had at exactly the same time.
Waking up to the essence of truth within, life within, the higher energies within. I think we've been asleep at many levels. I think there's no end to waking up. I think that we'll continue into the realms, many degrees of the realms of heaven, waking up to higher truth and higher energies. So enlightenment sounds like it's one point and one experience, usually the way it's used. But for me, it's a way of living. It's a way of being. Enlightenment is, to me, kind of what we were saying about mysticism. It's being tuned to life and joy and the aliveness of this experience and the unlimited future, if it is linear. Enlightenment frees us to be more of what we can be.
In our world, we have the understanding that enlightenment is both of form and without form, just like God is of form and without form. So you can be enlightened in form by being in the perfect form. Perfect form sometimes is thought of as the clear white light, so that your entire body and your mind would be nothing but light and love. That would be a form of enlightenment that would be understood in the Indian tradition. So the ultimate form of enlightenment is the transcendence of the experiencer, and therefore the ultimate enlightenment is non-experience. And that, if you get to that point, then you have become everything at once, and every time at once. And you are, in fact, the entirety of existence and beyond existence. And it's all you. From that point of view, when you come back from that kind of experience and you look out into the world, you don't see the world anymore, you see yourself.
From a Buddhist point of view, complete and perfect awakening is a very advanced state. Nevertheless, I think that there's a lot of people in Buddhism and in other spiritual journeys that do have deep realization, we would call it from a Buddhist point of view, of our true nature. And I think in that experience, some of the hallmarks of that experience, even if you might be in a different tradition or have taken a different mystical path, is the sense of the inseparability of all that is, the sense of the sacred, pure nature of all that is, and a sense of deep, deep contentment where we know that nothing is missing. There is nothing missing, and so one is at one with everything and really experiencing this sacred, pure nature of everything. And tremendous, I think, love and appreciation, gratitude and compassion arise out of this.
We can come out of our conditioned way of thinking and that blindness that comes from that conditioning and awaken to new possibilities of seeing life. And in that process is transformation. And oftentimes in that process is transmutation. And in that we begin to transmute our own energies and our own lives to something that is more open and more accepting, more receiving, and closer to understanding the divinity within.
I longed for divine union and realization, but I've been surprised that that actually happened. And I think people can take a lot of encouragement that if we really engage in spiritual practice, you know, in an authentic lineage or transmission or with an authentic teacher, then, you know, that very much can happen and big transformation and opening can happen.
So there is transformation that is sudden, and there is transformation that is gradual. So if you look in other traditions, right, whether it's in Zen Buddhism or in Sufism, there is a sense that we can awaken, or at least we can transform in different ways and at different speeds at different times. There are moments in our lives where we feel the light bulb just goes on, and it's like an epiphany, a moment where it's a radical kind of influx of light and inspiration, and something touches us in a very deep and profound way, and our whole worldview is reoriented, and we are required to reorient ourselves, and the transformation is almost immediate. Something happens, and we're just changed forever. And then the other side of the puzzle is that we may find in our lives that we are gradually, you know, drip, drop, like bit by bit, finding our ways through a practice that begins a slow and gradual process of transformation. And that may be in the course of a retreat, it may be in the course of a year of prayer practice, it may be in the course of a year of doing volunteerism and acts of good service for the community that we call tikkun olam. That may be a gradual process whereby we feel at the end of it, we have also become transformed.